Today. I'm Sophia with Garden State Film Festival. It is the 21st anniversary. We have over 230 films from 23 countries, and we are
Wow.
here talking about the short film Sick Puppy. Here to talk to us about it is the writer and producer Steve Alper and the music composer and sound designer Alberto Anaya. Thank you both so much for joining me. Congratulations.
Well,
Thank you.
thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Oh,
us.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys today. I saw the film. Congratulations. It's a really unique story and I'm excited to talk to you about it. But before we get into it, Steve, as the writer, can you tell everybody a little bit about Sick Puppy?
Well, it's a short. It's a passion project of mine. I was in a during the pandemic. I was in the writers group, and we had to do a short story every month, and someone would pick a title, and they picked "Sick Puppy," and I thought about, what should I write about? And I remembered a story about hearing about how cops in LA, but also all over the country, frequently shoot dogs when they're serving, domestic, uh, serving warrants or arriving on domestic disputes. And I was kind of shocked, and I read up on it and saw how prevalent it was. And so I decided to, a- you know, film it and make a short film about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool that it started out of a writers group. And I could not believe the fact that you have at the end of that film that, yeah, about 50 dogs a day are killed by police.
Yeah, I mean, the statistics
Crazy.
vary, but I've heard anywhere from like 15,000 to over 100,000 dogs a year are killed in this country by police officers, and
Mm,
it's outrageous to me.
yeah.
And I'd read one story about this one cop in Buffalo, um, who had killed 26 dogs himself before they finally fired him. So,
Oh my
you, yeah,
gosh.
you would have thought maybe after like three or four, but
That's insane. Why
yeah,
are dogs getting, why is anyone getting killed, number one, by
Mm.
police? Police brutality is an issue that it's a whole other conversation, but dogs too? Like, what? I just
yeah. I
never
mean,
expected that.
it's kind of bizarre. I mean, I think there's several things going on. I think that
Yeah.
for one, I think the Supreme Court sort of back them on this, and it's like I guess some feel like they're just there to do the job, and the dogs are in their way, and they don't want to have to deal with any resistance.
Mm.
And so if they're jerks or a-holes or whatever, they're gonna just pull the trigger right away.
Must be a
And
better way.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think it's a way to take take it out on the dog instead of the person. And like
Mm.
if they feel the person they're serving the warrant to or whatever's they don't like, maybe they shoot the dog to kind of teach them a lesson. It's
It's
kind of
crazy, but I mean, that's why I love film too, because you see these stories that you're like, how did someone think of this? And then a lot of them are based off of fact. So it's really interesting that you brought Sick Puppy to the Garden State Film Festival this year. I love seeing new and interesting films. And you have Alberto and what as one of the crew members. You guys won Best Soundtrack on a Short Film. Congratulations.
Thank you.
uh,
How do you guys feel about that?
It's
go
very
ahead,
cool.
Alberta.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm excited. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny
So
because
tell me how you brought Alberto on the project, Steve, and Alberto, like what drew you to Sick Puppy? Why'd you want to, score
um
this film?
yeah, I was I had a feature film, I think, that was on IMDb, and we were in pre-production, and Alberto hit me up, presenting himself for that film, asking if we need anyone to do the music. And I said, well, right now we're only in pre-production, but I just happened to have been finishing up my short,
Mhm.
and we were locking picture, and we were starting to think about music. And I wasn't going to hire him on the spot. I had a lot of other people applying, but he sent me his music, and I listened to it, and right away I loved it. And um, so I sent him the film, and he came back at me like, it's a 15-minute film. I think he came back at me like 15 minutes and 10 seconds later saying that he loved the film. And um, so I think right away it was like a match. He loved the film, and I loved his music. So it was a natural no
And
brainer. So
Alberto, that's great.
Yeah.
Alberto, what about the film, really
It
made you
was
like,
very
okay, I want to
cool, and it was pretty unique in the sense that it presented some technical challenges where a lot of sequences that needed to be bridged together with music. I remember when he's speaking with the lawyer and then goes to the DMV and then with his friend, and it was a very very sweet story, like a very a very strong story, something worth for the people to watch. And it was quite challenging on the technical side, if you know what I mean. Like, it was one of those where speaking with Steve, it was a very technical process. Like, okay, we need music here, 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 and here. We need the music to do this, and that. And it was always from the general to the particular. It was like carving a sculpture. It's like, okay, we agreed we need music here, 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 and then okay, it begins here, it does that, it ends here. And it was fascinating to me. It was very challenging, and it was very 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 fun to do and fun to work with. I like solving problems with music, with this
Oh, I love
ultimately.
that. Solving
But
problems with music
yeah,
and the analogy of making a sculpture. That's so interesting.
yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of my process with directors. Which I like, rather than coming up with, "Hey, here is your soundtrack." I don't like doing that.
So
I think,
how did this process work? Did you guys
Mhm,
go back and forth with a bunch of
mhm,
different
yeah,
music options?
it's always from the broad picture, from the general to particular. It's always first defining where we need music and what do we need it for.
Mm,
But remember, when he's with the lawyer and then with the car and then with the DMV and I like, okay, Alberto, we need something to glue all that together, right?
yeah.
And then, or when the policeman enters, or at the end. And it's funny because at the end,
Well, don't
last
give anything
minute,
away though.
yeah, we decided to leave the scene without music, and that was a very
Ah,
very good choice. I
did
remember.
you? Yeah. Okay.
It's always
I,
I'm always waiting for
I know
improv.
I
Yeah.
suggested it. One thing, I've been more of a writer, producer, not not a director, and but on this film, this was one of the first times I had final say in the editing room. So I would I was making a lot of suggestions to Alberto, and he would kind of tell me right away if it was a good idea or a bad idea, and um, I appreciated that. I I wasn't experienced with obviously scoring film, and but I just kind of gave him my opinions, and he would tell me if my opinions were on or off, and I'll say one thing. Might make me look a little stupid, but when I first gave him the film, and you know, it has to do with a black urban family, and he gave me this beautiful piano piece, and uh, I said, this is great. I said, but where's the hip hop? And he said, no, 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 don't think because it has to do with a black family, we need, like that type of music, like, hip hop or rap. He goes, this is about a family. And, he wanted to find the emotion of, a family losing a pet. And so it was totally different than anything I had envisioned um, in this film,
Oh,
and I'm glad I trusted him on that because he
yeah.
here we are winning best score, so got to
right.
give
Thank you.
Alberto all the credit.
I didn't want to be the white guy coming up with, or the Spanish or Latino
Mhm.
guy coming up with. because it's
Right.
I wanted to come up with a very universal, more universal approach, because those emotions are universal, and the film is not about a racial topic. Like, it could be any kind of family. They just happen to be a black family, but that's, it's part of,
Mhm.
there is nothing in the music that should or would have to play that.
Mhm.
However, I remember Steve, although from very outside, he had really, really, really good ideas and really good input. Like at the end, the final scene, we made music for that scene. And then I remember last minute say, Alberto, you know what? Let's give him a music. Okay, I can try it. Let's do only sound designer. And you know what? He was right. And then it's, well, oh, okay, look at that.
Mhm.
It works. The performance is there. The actors are, that's an industry. Okay, fine, perfect. So
Yeah,
it's
and
always yes, it's always like a ping pong, like a
Right. Trial
chemistry.
and error kind of too.
Yeah.
You have to see it to know what works.
right. My experience as a filmmaker, um, I've seen a lot of rough cuts, and usually when you see a rough cut, um, you're pretty disappointed, and you're like, oh, okay, this didn't turn out as good as I thought, and but nothing's there yet. The music, the sound correction, the color, um, it hasn't been tightened up. But for some reason, the rough cut of this film, I was like, this is like feels like almost ready to go, and so I knew we had something pretty good here, and then when you see the music put in, at first it feels like intrusive because it's like you already like the scene, and now you have music coming into the scene. So that's always like um, I find a little bit of a challenge, like because you're used to it without music, and then now it has music. So I mean, obviously that's Alberto's expertise.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Well, Steve, you bring up a good point because you wrote this and you produced it. So you got, and your brother was one of the stars. You got the people on this film, but you didn't direct it. So what was it like kind of having something so close to you that I'm sure you envisioned in your head while you were writing it to pass it off to someone else to make it?
yeah, I mean that's always tough because you know I don't see myself as a director. The directors I know that they just think a lot more visually, but they're all into the camera angles and the lens and the movements, and I just think about story and acting, and that's why I never really direct. But when I'm on the set and it's not going the way I envision it, it's kind of hard to keep my mouth shut. So I've gotten in trouble a few times.
So you put your say in there for sure. So we're wrapping up at the end of this interview, unfortunately, but I want to hear from both of you what like inspires you. Alberto, what really when it comes to sound design and scoring music, what inspires you? What's really important as a composer?
The story, the story, and the story. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all about it. To me. Listen, I'm not a screenplay, or I'm not a writer. However, I follow writers on Instagram, and I like reading screenplays. I don't know. I never write. I don't do any of that. But yeah, I guess all of that is all my work that I put in as a composer, also as a sound designer. It's to enhance the story and also the performances that are ultimately serving the story. To me, it's all about the story. What we do is storytelling. It's enhancing the story. Like,
Right.
that
Oh, I
is
love that.
that is
The
what
music is
drives.
a part of the story. It really just
Yeah,
makes the
it's
story
funny,
bigger.
and it's, yeah. If you just listen to not just this soundtrack, I know it won't best soundtrack, but if you listen to any of my music or on my website or any of the stuff that I do to picture, if you listen to the music on its own does not make any sense. It's not a special. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say this on the
It is special.
this is not good marketing, but the music on its that I make to picture on its own is not special. However, the way it is made to picture and to the story and enhancing the story and the performance, that is what makes not only the music but everything special. The whole thing special.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
I think I know what you're saying. It's like it has to be the right direction of the scene and enhance the scene.
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. And
Yeah.
Steve, what makes a great film to you?
great film. Wow, there's so many
Right.
components to film. You know, it's really everything. You know, it's not like a novel where it's just the writing and the story. It's you know it's the directing, the acting, the music, the um, you know the sound design, the editing. So that's what's so special about film. It's a collaboration of so many different art mediums, and when it all comes together, you get a beautiful film. So
I love it. It's been such a pleasure talking to you guys. I really have one more question that I keep thinking about as I'm talking to you. So let's slip it in here. What are you hoping audiences get from watching the film? What do you hope they feel from watching Sick Puppy?
um, well, for me, I guess you know I just hope they enjoy the work and you know all the efforts that went into it. And you know this film is there is a message to it, and hopefully you know it inspires you know people to maybe get involved in you know so this problem that the film deals with you know gets some attention to it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you both so very much for
Well,
talking to me about Sick Puppy, for taking time out of your day. Congratulations to both of you for the win. And I can't wait to see you. I know, Steve, you'll be at the Garza Film Festival, and hopefully,
yes.
Alberto, somehow you'll be able to make it. But I can't wait to meet you
Yeah.
guys in person.
Okay. Well,
Let me
thank you
tell
so
everyone,
much.
of course. Let me tell everyone how they can see Sick Puppy and maybe meet Steve. It will be playing Sunday, March 26th at the Berkeley Hotel in the Kingsley Ballroom in the film block 12 to 2:15 p.m. So definitely check it out. If you want to get a ticket, visit gsff.org. You can get a screening ticket, or you can get a full day pass, or there's parkway passes, which will get you the filmmakers night. It'll get you into the gala. It'll get you all the screenings, all the panels. So definitely check out that website. Get your tickets today. They're selling out fast. So can't wait to see you all there. Thank you again, guys. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
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 Have a nice day.